everyone, and welcome to my September most anticipated releases. September is bringing us a lot of new books to talk about, but I want to talk about 5 specific ones today because they are the ones that have caught my attention the most, so let's get into it. The first 2 come out on the 10th. The first one is called The Scarlet Throne and it is by Amy Lowe, and this is about Binsa, who is a living goddess chosen by the gods to dispense mercy and punishment, but it turns out she's not actually channeling a deity. What she's actually doing is harbouring a demon in secret, and she will do anything to keep that secret and stay on that Scarlet Throne, which immediately caught my attention. But then one of the reviews on this said that Binsa is also an unapologetic villain, and I am so here for that. I love unapologetic villains. I love villain POVs in general, but when they are unapologetically villainous and women as well, just give it to me now. I love this concept so much. There is not enough unapologetic villainous women main POVs in books or TV or anywhere else, so this one immediately caught my attention and I'm really excited to read it. The second book coming out on the 10th is The Ending Fire. This is by Sarah El-Arifi and it is the final one in the Final Strife series, and I cannot wait to read this one because I've loved the first 2. This is a fantasy series all about a 3-tiered society where if you have clear blood you are essentially nothing but slaves. You are treated absolutely awfully. You are seen as basically dirt and everything else. Then you have the blue bloods who are slightly better off, but they aren't really seen as like real people or anything else, and then you have the red bloods who are in power, and we are following one character from each of these tiers in society as they are trying to change things and trying to rise up against these people in power, this kind of thing. And I have loved the first 2 so much. I cannot wait to see how this is going to end. I've got it on pre-order and I am so excited for this one, to say the least. Then actually on the 17th there are 2 things coming out, so we actually have 6 things to talk about today. The first one is The Vampire of King Street. This is by Aisha Grayling, and this is all about a 19th century New York where vampires are essentially indentured servants. They are also treated as less than human, this kind of thing, and then when one is accused of murder, an ignored lawyer has to take on his case to prove he's innocent. And this sounds really interesting to me. I'm not usually a murder mystery type person, but the vampire element definitely intrigued me because I'm really in the mood for vampires at the moment after watching Interview with a Vampire. Also, what's really interesting me about this is the fact that vampires aren't the ones in charge, because usually when you read something about vampires they're usually the ones in charge, they're the ones controlling everything, this kind of thing. So to see it on the other end just sounds really intriguing to me, so I definitely want to check this one out. Also on the 17th there is The Lies We Conjure by Sarah Henning, and this one has been described as being like Knives Out meets The Inheritance games, where 2 teenagers get caught up in a witchy murder mystery while posing as a woman's long lost grandchildren. And it had me at Knives Out because I love the Knives Out movie. The Knives Out movies are some of my favourites. I absolutely adore them, so whenever a book is compared to Knives Out I definitely want to check it out. And again, while murder mystery is not usually my thing, I'm definitely intrigued by the witchy spooky element to this, because as we're getting into spooky season I just want all of the witchy vampiric spooky stuff, so this really intrigues me. Then on the 24th we have The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig, and I'm just going to read you the top bit for this because you'll see exactly why this intrigued me as I read this, because it says, "This is the story of Hazel, a young healer navigating a ruthless court to save the life of the king, grappling with a pantheon of gods with questionable agendas as she fights for agency and true love in her own life as the goddaughter of none other than Death himself." It was the goddaughter of Death himself that completely got me on this, because I am a massive fan of Terry Pratchett. I talk about this not actually enough on this channel, but I am a massive fan of Terry Pratchett, and one of my favourite sets of characters within the Discworld is Death and his granddaughter Susan. And I literally remember watching Hogfather for the first time, and that is all about Death and his granddaughter Susan, and ever since then I've been interested in the idea of exploring more of Death's family and the idea of Death having a family and this kind of thing, whether that be through having a daughter who then has a granddaughter, having a goddaughter, anything like this. It just sounds really intriguing to me, and like such an interesting concept to talk about, and then to have This also being about Hazel, who is also trying to grapple with a pantheon of gods with questionable agendas, this kind of thing. I mean, this just sounds right up my alley. I definitely want to read this as soon as possible because that just sounds so good. I definitely need to get my hands on this one, to say the least. And then finally on the 26th we have Let's Split Up by Bill Wood, and this is supposed to be like a Scooby-Doo kind of mystery about a group of teenagers who investigate the murder of a popular couple where the common theory is that a ghoul has taken revenge. Again, I'm here for the Scooby-Doo vibes because I used to love Scooby-Doo when I was a kid. I haven't watched it in a very long time. The last time I saw anything to do with Scooby-Doo that was not someone cosplaying online as the Scooby Gang was Scooby Natural, you know, the Supernatural Scooby-Doo crossover. That was the last time I watched anything to do with Scooby-Doo, and now I've just gone, I really want to watch more Scooby-Doo. So now that there's a book that sounds like Scooby-Doo, I'm just like, this just sounds really intriguing. And then also the fact that there may be a ghoul taking revenge and this kind of thing, it just sounds really intriguing. It sounds really spooky and right up my alley, so I definitely want to give this a try. And that is my September most anticipated releases. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me your most anticipated release for September. I'd love to know so I don't miss anything. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a ghost emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, as well as a link down below as well to my bookish Etsy store if you want to treat yourself to something bookish today. Or if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!